Welcome back. A brief recap of the last couple sessions. The party is currently attending the Von Teppler Masquerade, the first masquerade of this season, of this election season. And things have been tumultuous, to say the least.
It's fine.
The party arrived in the company of Rufus, Delia, and Kahlo in a carriage drawn by Malus Marcus, the castellan and captain of the guard, at the residence. But upon arriving, the party kind of hit the ground running at the party. After introductions, Monty was quickly challenged to a duel by the briefly mysterious and then not so much Duke, a young Duke of the Duchy of Estonia, the Reinhard von Himmel, who, during the process of the duel, things were said and Monty's were dropped to 0 HP. However, Reinhardt limped off afterwards, obviously in his own kind of world, I should say. There, the party re-encountered Anastasia, Manata. Everyone regrouped while they were patching up Monty. After that, Monty and Lynn had a tender exchange, which was interrupted by everyone's favorite or least favorite older brother, Aldo.
He's trying.
Reagan finally hashed things out with the Von Tepplers getting sort of a loose armistice in the blood-soaked revenge quest 7.
At least in terms of the revenge quest. Like, there's nothing to be said about anything that might happen with the Gorings or whatever, but,
Yes.
At least the vengeance is, tabled for now.
Brika spent some time with her best friend, Julius. Well,
no.
She's his best friend. I don't want to speak for Brika. And Ethel, dear Aunt Ethel, had a bit of a sit-down with one Mr. Morris Kipling. After the party regrouped, most of them went over to speak to the Grand Duchess Narcissus, who apparently is a dragon lord in human form. The conversation was interesting. Brika had inadvertently drawn the attention of the dragon lord with one of the cards she drew from the deck of the Liar's Run. And after a conversation with this rather peculiar figure, the party walked away, surprised on some level that they were not just eaten, because that seems to be what dragons do. Ethel, meanwhile, set up a secret sensor with which to view the sort of the hidden meeting room that Morris Kipling has commandeered. Currently, Reinhardt is out in sort of like a far corner of the veranda by himself.
Yes, I remember that.
Cyrus is mingling in sort of the main hallway, while Lynn, in sort of the aftermath of Lynn's sonata, while everyone's getting ready for like the dinner portion of the evening.
Yes. And I need to remind myself that my goals today are want to talk to Cyrus, and I want to talk to Reinhardt without getting killed.
Good luck.
And kiss your girlfriend.
And hopefully kiss my girlfriend.
Yeah.
The scandal!
I just want to go curl up with Lynn in a corner and just snuggle.
Listen, we all want to curl up with Lynn in a corner and snuggle.
But what just happened as Ethel's divination sensor snapped into place, there was a knock at Morris Kipling's door, for lack of a better word. And Anastasia Manata entered, and she sat down, and the two seemed to have some knowledge of each other, as she referred to him as the man pulling the strings. And then she said, "I have heard whispers about you." And that's where we're going to pick up right now. Ethel, at the opportune moment, popping that into place. There's sort of a moment of tension there, as Morse kind of takes in Anastasia with what you've come to realize is sort of his general affectation when doing business, kind of just this dead-eyed, very kind of blank stare. And he says, "Well, if you mean to kill me, I would recommend you do it now, and quietly. Everyone is still moving around. There's enough ambient noise that a subtle death would be one that perhaps would go unnoticed." And she sort of chuckles at that, and she says, "No, I don't think that's entirely in the cards today. We both know that if you fell, another would follow, and I can't be certain that I know what he would be like." Morris is again quiet for a moment, and he says, "So then why are you here?" She sort of smiles demurely, and she says, "Just to put a face to a name. There aren't many people who really know about you. Most of them are, what's the word? In the dark. I didn't even know who you were until recently, but you've been getting busy, haven't you?" Morris doesn't respond, and she just continues. "Besides, it seems we both have the same favorite toy." And Ethel, there is a flicker over Morris's face, very quick and very guarded, before it settles back to blankness. And she says, and Anastasia says, there we are. There we are. You really think that he can do something?" And Morris just says, "Lady Minata, I'm certain that whatever it is you think you know of me, you are far from the truth." And that sort of demure smile that she's been wearing just kind of vanishes behind this stretched wolf-like grin. And she says, "Oh, I very much doubt that, Mr. Kipling." And then she sort of just abruptly stands, and she says, "But I'll need to be making my way back. So many people to greet. So many supporters, you know. There is so much support for my platform this year." And he says, "I hope and pray for your good health and fortune in the election and the years to come." She sort of smiles again, once more back into that kind of mask of just politeness. And she says, "Come now, Mr. Kipling. Leave the lies to the professionals." And then she walks out. And as soon as she does, he kind of just slumps forward a bit. And he just runs one hand through his hair. And Ethel, you are surprised at this sort of very composed. It's surprising to see because, you know, from the few times you've encountered him thus far, he seems very in control, very, very adequate for whatever task he seems to be standing in. So it's sort of the vibe that he gives out. But right then, in that private moment, he just looks so tired. Do you want to keep viewing him, or?
No, I think it's all right.
All right. So the rest of the Looney Tunes. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We just left talking to the dragon lady, right?
Yeah, Narcissus.
Reagan's current only objective is to go check up on her sister, but other than that, she's with y'all.
And Monty did see, I remember last week, Monty did see Reinhardt sitting out in the garden, right?
Yeah. You saw Reinhardt, and he was kind of just, sitting on the ground, his,
sad boy.
fucked up leg, kind of splayed out in front of him.
Still attached. Ugh.
Still attached.
Bastard.
I very much would like to take care of that problem and not in a murdery way, but I mean, I would like to take care of that problem before we move on to other problems that are more personal.
Reagan, take care of it. He counts as
No,
prone.
Reagan, not like that!
He counts as prone, I have advantage!
So I guess, do you want, like, Monty to... We can talk this out in character and figure out where we're going next?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Walk a few steps away from the scary dragon lady.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, if you guys don't mind, I would like Brika and Reagan as backup, just in case things go south really fast.
To just stand there with their arms crossed and look very intimidating.
I want to talk to him. And...
Why?
He didn't want to talk to you before.
And he's kind of a dick. Like, Monty, if you want to talk to him, I support your decision, even though I don't like it. But, why? Like, what are you trying to do?
Something isn't right. From what Lynn told me about him, something has changed.
Yeah, he's a noble and Aminor sucks. What do you, like...
Yeah.
Is that your problem?
I don't know if that's all. And, look, I'm not gonna try and fight him again. I'm not, even if he wants to. If he does, I'm just gonna walk away like, a bully's trying to start up a fight again. I don't know. I owe it to Lynn, and Lynn doesn't have time right now, and...
Okay, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'd just like not to die, and you guys kind of helped me with that, so please and thank you.
Yeah, are Rufus and Carlos still with us, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all want in on this drama fest?
Drama fest.
Rufus kind of just like, he kind of just looks a little, he's kind of chewing the inside of his cheek, and he says, look, I mean, I personally don't. I found that, in general, like, you want to avoid the people who tried to put, like, who actually put arrows into you.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page with you there, but he seems...
Rufus, why don't you go sit at Julius Goring's table and make sure nobody is putting arrows in him?
Is that something
nice.
Is that something we're concerned about?
I don't know, he's always messing with somebody.
In general, I mean, I like that one. Don't let anybody kill him.
He could use more friends.
That's true.
I mean, honestly, everybody in the city could use more friends. And what a perfect opportunity for us to be those friends!
Yeah. And we're probably going to circle back there, because I want to touch base with Lady Cynthia.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get to say hi to Julius either, so...
Sure. So you're good here. He's speaking to Reagan specifically.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I'm good. And she actually fishes through her pocket for the little, the bead that Julius gave her. And she's like, hey, can you give this back to, Lord Goring for me?
Yes, I can do that.
You're the best.
He sort of like reflexively goes to, like, deflect that. And then he just sort of closes his mouth. Just kind of,
Nope, you're the best.
Nope, you're the best. You're the champion.
Hey,
You're the best.
Look. Hey, real quick, does that annoy you when people just call you the champion like you're not in the room?
I mean...
Because, like, it's annoying me, but if it doesn't bother you, I'm not going to say anything.
I'm kind of used to it by now, to be honest.
Yeah. Kind of bullshit, but fair enough.
Little bit, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll do that.
Kahlo, he is going to go with Rufus as well, but he sort of like steps over to you, Monty, and he puts a feathered bird hand on your shoulder, and he says, if he does try and kill you, the best option is to find his leg and hurt him through that. It is already very damaged.
Yes, I noticed.
We're not going to let anything happen.
That is good. But if you have to, the leg.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, I love that you're willing to fight dirty. Just, what a guy.
He nods, and Frika, you can see that, like, his hand is kind of, like, slowly creeping towards Monty's book on his back. From the shoulder to the book, just like...
Why does he want my book? It does not glow that often.
Sometimes it does.
It has glowed once.
And he likes that.
He's not being super subtle about it, but, like...
You going for a feel there, buddy?
I am feeling you.
Oh my god, Kahlo, it's my book. You can't have it. I'm leaving.
We'll be right in.
Rufus kind of just, like, grips him by his collar, and he starts, like, pulling him away as Kahlo just kind of, like, squawks a little bit at once. And he just kind of flaps his hands a little bit as he hops along as Rufus, the inexorable tide of Rufus pulling him.
Again, Rufus stops someone from having fun.
Yeah, God.
It's
Rufus,
just the
no fun squad.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just the dream
That's
team
me.
again.
Yep.
Real quick before this is up, Ethel, what are you up to?
Can I see Anastasia whenever she comes back down into the main area?
Yeah. Since you came down this sort of same route-ish,
Mhm.
I think you're able to find it pretty easily.
What does she start doing?
She just goes and starts mingling with people. It seems like she's, just kind of doing the whole smiling,
Mingling with
nodding.
a couple cool people, and you better be one of them, biatch.
just sort of what you've identified as general party favors.
Mhm.
There's roll me an investigation check.
Alright. That's a 10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. So something feels off because this is a performance. You can tell it's a performance, but people perform at this thing,
Right.
at the Masquerade. But if you wanted to figure out a little deeper what she had, what she's moving, what her overall agenda is, it would probably require more tailing, more investigating on your end.
Right. What's Lord Limpter doing?
He was just kind of again sitting at his table. No one's seen again. People are kind of giving him a wider berth,
Right.
and it's every now and then watching him for longer than a minute. There are moments where it looks like he recognizes someone, tries to with the sort of the language of glances and gestures to get their attention,
Mm-hmm.
to greet them or acknowledge them or draw them over, and then just kind of there's a moment of excitement on his face,
Mm-hmm.
and then very quickly that fades as well back into that oh.
Aww.
So sad. I want to be everyone's friend.
People generally don't want to spend a lot of time with you when your dad tried to kill everyone and may or may not have had his necromancer mercenary fucking ice
Yeah.
a couple dozen people with lightning bolts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leave them crispy.
Okay, I have some weird questions for you.
Yeah.
From where I am, is there something on the other side of the room that Ethel would theoretically be interested in going to that would take me by Lord Limpter's table?
Roll a perception check for me.
Oh god. It's an 11.
So there's a couple things around there. A lot of folks are sort of filtering in, but what you do notice, there does seem to be a servant moving through with a platter of artisanal cocktail weenies.
Excellent.
Artesinal.
And
Perfect.
I don't know how Ethel feels about artisanal cocktail weenies, but
The only way
Yeah.
that one can feel, which is, just pure delight.
That reminds you, Reagan still has a plate of hors d'oeuvres.
Did she finish them yet?
I don't know, she's just holding it.
She's got the plate and now she's like, oh, a shield.
this counts.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, continue with
Okay.
the artisanal cocktail weenies of delight.
Okay. Ethel is going to bustle towards the artisanal cocktail weenies excitedly. And when she's passing Lord Limpter's table, she will, smile at him and nod. And
You're gonna
then
invite him on a cocktail weenie adventure?
she's going to kind of stop and clutch her chest and just kind of look unwell.
He when you acknowledge him,
Mm-hmm.
he looks really excited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh someone's oh no. Oh
She
no,
looked at
oh
me
no.
and now she's dying.
This is what everyone warned me about.
Oh
How hard are you selling this, Ethel?
Not enough to draw a scene, but enough to be like, oh my, I could use some assistance,
Okay. Just because if you were like, oh no, my heart attack is happening,
Don't mind me.
then I think
Oh, it's the hand again.
he kind of springs out of his chair and he says, Lady Ethel, are you all right?
Oh my,
Please, sit down. I.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's at my age sometimes.
No,
it's a
no.
little too much.
Do you need me to fetch a surgeon or a physician or
No, I don't wish my family to worry. If you wouldn't mind, if you would be so kind, if you would escort me perhaps to a side room where I may lay down and catch my breath.
Of course. There he stands and offers you his arm in that chaste way that nobles do.
Right.
And he sort of just starts like scanning the side of the room to find a place, and he kind of leads you over to the servants' quarters.
Okay.
Or to like one of the servants' entrances.
Right. Okay.
I think this should be good. Are you sure you're all right? You're not feeling too faint?
Oh, if you wouldn't mind, just to get me to a chair or something, just out of the way. I don't want anyone to worry about me.
He sort of glances around, and then he finds a satisfactory looking perch, and he leads you over there.
So we are in the servants' quarters now.
You are currently in the servants' quarters right now.
All right. Is there anyone around?
Not that you can see right now. It's like you can see the entrance and exits pretty well.
Okay. I'm gonna stab him. I'm gonna try to kill him.
Oh no! No, he's like a puppy.
I know, I feel so bad.
I know you do, Sarah. Wisteria feels nothing.
It's okay, put him out of his misery.
Hello, friends. Thank you so much for coming to this week's episode of Masks and Martyrs. I hope you're enjoying it so far, and we will keep bringing you hot podcast episodes every week, as long as we're able to. So, I wanted to do some housekeeping and some plugs, and my cat Cookie has joined, so if you hear her squeaking, that is why. So first off, if you're liking the show so far, I have a personal request for each and every one of you. And it is that if you are not already following us on Twitter at Masks and Martyrs, please go do so. We are at 98 followers on Twitter, and I just desperately want to have 100 because I am a millennial shill, and only follower counts matter to me. And also because at 100 followers, Katie and I are going to be doing an art giveaway. So someone will be getting a piece of art from one or both of us. We haven't figured it out exactly yet. Maybe we'll do 2 winners. I don't know. It depends on how many people want to be part of it. But if you do not already follow us on Twitter, please go do so. We would really, really appreciate it. We actually don't have any plugs this week, so let's just get into our music credits. Our opening music is Threads of Fate by Diana Pepperozzi and Thomas Hart. Our mid-roll and the previously on music is Kevin MacLeod's Dreamlike, and our ending theme, as always, is Merry Meet Meg by Hopper and the Books on Tape. Alright, that was a pretty short housekeeping section. With that, I will let you guys get back into the episode. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, I have so many regrets. I don't know if this is the right plan.
There's still time.
It's fine. Roll a new character, Sarah.
No, there's... This is interesting. This is very interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So much for all of our plans.
So,
Is that the sound he makes when he's being stabbed?
No, this is...
Oh my.
This is me considering another character's portfolio and how this overlaps.
Maybe I shouldn't go through with this.
Does Wisteria know
Okay.
Brika well enough to have her as a shoulder angel? Like, no stabbing! And then, like, the voice of Reagan, who she doesn't really know that well, but just stab him, man. Just do it.
stab him.
Just do it. Everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves to die. Everyone does.
Everyone sucks. Just do it. Sweeney Todd style.
Tell you what. Give me a sleight of hand check. Part of this is getting sort of like getting past his notice.
Right.
To kind of get that sick stab action.
Sleight of hand, alright.
Yeah, just roll first.
Yep. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's a 6.
Oh no!
Mysteria with the big dice.
Oh, my dice all hate me.
It's okay, mine do too.
So
Or they like Alfred.
So as you're beginning to slide to the hilt of your dagger, you kind of reach over and he turns and bumps into you.
Okay.
And as he does, it's a very abrupt thing. He's realizing something. And as he does, he bumps into you and the knife falls out of your hand and clatters over.
Oh my.
He kind of looks at it, reaches down. He picks it up. And he just says, I think you dropped this.
Oh my God.
He's such a sweetheart.
He hands it back to you.
Young man,
Yes?
would you sit and talk with me for a moment? I shall put this over here. Place the knife away.
The implication of that is sort of lost on him.
Ah!
He kind of nods and he says, I do need to be getting back soon for when they serve dinner, but I can sit. I realize now that I'll probably be eating alone. So certainly I can sit for a moment. He sort of pulls up another chair. What's on your mind, Lady Ethel?
Young man, why is it that you are with Lady Anastasia?
He's kind of quiet. He isn't you can see he's sort of trying to piece out an answer that he thinks would be reasonable, and he says, I'm sure that I don't need to tell you of my family's recent history. You were probably there, honestly. But when my father did what he did, and he tried to murder everyone, for lack of a better word,
Just get it all out there, buddy.
most people did not want much to do with the Limter name after that. We are not exactly in high standings currently, as one might imagine. And as foolish as it is, I have been in love with Anastasia Manata since I was a boy. He looks a little almost conflicted, and he says, and she never looked at me. not really, not. I was, he just gestures to himself. There was never any chance or moment for it. But then my father tried to kill every landed noble in the duchy at our ball, and suddenly she would call on me. We would take tea together. At first it was nice. It was what I survived with, honestly. But I'm not a very smart or wise person, but I know the game here. And when you're the son of a lord, you are so much less important than when you are the lord. And I think she always knew that I was so wrapped around her finger she could just keep me for whenever she needed me. And now look, I have a title. I have an estate. I have wealth.
I have the woman that I've always wanted, and...
And are you happy?
Honestly, Lady Emblem, I don't know the last time that I was happy.
Well, I believe we may be able to do something about that.
Who's we?
Oh, society in general, I suppose. I happen to know some people, though, who seem to collect people who do not quite fit in elsewhere.
That's a nice way to put it.
I have a feeling that they would all be quite delighted to make your acquaintance. And not because of who you are, but simply because you, too, are looking for a home.
That sounds lovely, but, I don't suppose you could conjure them from the mere air around you.
No, but they are in the ballroom.
He kind of cocks his head a bit. Who exactly are they?
I believe they've been staying with the champion of the city.
His face just turns to ash at that.
Which I understand is a sore point for you.
Oh, it's not for me. It's just, well, you know, that my father was the one who in the murders, and that was what brought him up. It just, I've always sort of just assumed that he would be, not thrilled to see me.
Well, young man, that's your first mistake. You can't assume anything.
That is wise.
And you know what I told you before is still true. You are more than your father's son.
I'd like to believe that.
Wonderful, that's the first step. Now, if you would be so kind as to escort me back into the ballroom, I would be delighted to introduce you.
He looks like a little conflicted, a little confused, but then he sort of nods and stands and offers you his arm once more.
I will take it.
Okay. So while y'all are walking back in...
And retrieve my knife at some point. Just don't want to leave that there.
Just yoink! All the way out the door. And then she stabs him. Ha!
I gave him a glimmer of hope to take it away. But right now we're gonna cut back to the rest of the party over on the veranda, and yeah, there is so y'all are approaching Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're walking,
All of Reinhardt's friends are still around him, right?
they're not like just standing there. They're not like standing with him, but they're standing like they're giving him like his space while keeping an eye on him. And as you all like begin walking, a couple of them like sort of tense up. Aum, the strange hairless human looking person, but just kind of like with these weird like silver gold eyes, just sort of staring at you. Just kind of like they just kind of tap along their wrist in this kind of mechanical pattern as they
Reagan
walk.
shoots, looks back at all of them. She just meets all of their gazes and just like, what, bitch? You won't.
Monty's walking in with his hands up, by the way. He's unarmed.
Chester the halfling, he has he just kind of has one of his hands on one of his daggers, so he's just kind of staring, just, kind of this languid half smirk.
Reagan's gonna keep an eye on that one.
And Griffin waves really excitedly.
Reagan waves very, reluctantly, and, one split second, uncrosses her arms and goes, "What, just wait, a small wave," and then, we're still not cool, Griffin, but I'm not a monster.
They don't actually intervene or stop you. They're just keeping an eye as you walk forward. Y'all come within, 10 feet, and Reinhardt, hasn't really looked up, and he just says, "It's poor manners for the defeated to greet the victor."
I apologize, but I was concerned
to
about
be
you.
all the things that you are.
Thank you, Brika!
I think you'll
Thanks,
find
Mom!
that literally none of us have good manners. No offense, Monty.
I have perfect manners, thank you.
He has very good manners.
Okay, fine. Whatever you say.
Someday I will beat it out of him.
After I beat it out of you! Smacks.
You think you raised your kid right, you know? And then they come up with manners.
Oh my god, why are you like this, moms?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just say it.
Oh, no, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I really hope Reinhardt is just like watching this Three Stooges act play out.
What option does he have?
She can just keep staring at the ground like a brooding asshole.
I mean, he kind of reaches up because he's sort of like by the bow. He's sort of like on like the railing, and he reaches back and like hauls himself up, and you can see like as he's rising, his knee buckles out for a moment, but he just.
Monty does make a move to try and help catch him.
He's got himself okay, and he kind of just like you see just like the tendons in his neck just strain as he just kind of muscles past it, and then he draws himself to like not quite his full height, but most of his height, and he says, "What is it that you want, Mr. Pensmith?"
Well, I was hoping that I could see if you were okay. I'm guessing the answer is no. I wanted to talk to you instead of punching you, maybe. For Lynn.
As soon as you say that last part, he just looks away, and he's quiet for a moment, and then he just says, "That was ill done of me."
I'll say,
Reagan!
"Hey, you brought me."
Ah!
This was your mistake, Monty.
I don't know what to say to you. I barely know you. I'd like to know you, but I don't know if you want to afford me that opportunity.
He looks like kind of conflicted at that, and he says, "It's not. I don't think you wish to know me. You wouldn't wish to know this me."
I mean,
Montague, why are you here? Montague, I put an arrow into your chest. I left you unconscious. If
Because he's fucking nice. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you nobles?
thank you, Reagan.
Because he's worried about you because you're friends with his girlfriend or something, and he wants to...
That wasn't necessary. Thank you, though.
And he wants to bury the hatchet. Jesus, what is so hard for you guys to understand about people trying to be good people? God.
Is it nobility or is it toxic masculinity, Diana?
I don't know. Anyway.
Reagan, he fixes you with like just this piercing glare, or not glare, just piercing like gaze that you haven't had turned on you before, and it's your first time getting caught by it, and he just says, "And are you a good person?"
No! Obviously, no! I mean...
She is! Don't listen to her. And
Rika was looking at Reagan with such admiration there until a second ago. Like,
no, but I know one when I see one. Jeez.
Listen, the way Lynn talks about you...
The way Lynn talks about who I was, Mr. Pensmith.
I mean, people change, and that happens, and I'm sure you've been through a lot. God, I can't even fathom what you've been through. But... the way we need to talk. What is happening? Why did you want to fight? Why not talk? Why not take me apart with words? You know that would insult me so much more than, obviously, so much more because I wouldn't be standing here than putting an arrow in my chest.
Because it wasn't about insulting you. It was never about that.
Okay, then what was it about? Make me understand. Without your fists, please.
Lynn von Teppler is the daughter of the Archduke of Hintilla. She is known as a bookworm, as a bit of an isolationist, but most of all she is known to be a goodly young woman.
Yes.
The Masquerade season that she debuts in, leading up to it, there are rumors that she has become involved with a certain mysterious stranger of seemingly noble rearing, but no one really seems to know who this is. A few do, but most don't. So, what can one do when there is a mysterious young stranger come to sweep the daughter of the Archduke off her feet? You need to make him known. That was my goal.
Okay.
A duel against a seasoned warrior, even one where you lost, so long as you demonstrated something, anything, to the people here to show them that you were not someone to be trifled with.
I mean, anybody in that room could kill me if they looked at me hard enough. We know this, right?
And that.
He cocks his head at you and he says, he just gestures down at his leg and he says, "Do you think there are a dozen in there who could do this to me?"
No, that was pretty badass, actually, Monty. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, true.
I'm sorry. I don't... Listen, and he kind of, like, rifles around behind his cape and pulls out one of his healing potions.
Reinhardt just shakes his head and he says, "I don't deserve that right now."
Yeah, you don't,
That's
but
my
he's
question.
nice. It's not a question of what you do. Just take the goddamn healing potion. Let him be nice to you. You owe him that much. Come on.
He doesn't really he doesn't respond immediately. He just kind of he just says, "I don't deserve your kindness because..."
Why not?
Because my goal changed during it. I thought I could be useful to Lynn. I thought I could give you legitimacy, a reputation, something, anything. And I thought I could be useful to her. But when you said this wasn't the man I was supposed to be, God, I wanted you to kill me.
I'm sorry, and
It's not your fault, Mr. Pensmouth. You were doing... You didn't know. It was the only way to ensure that the duel seemed legitimate, but you couldn't have known that.
He could have if you told him that your goal going in, dude. Just saying.
Communication is important.
Yeah.
Do you know, he kind of looks over.
sorry about my moms.
He looks over the two of you like a little incredulously, and he says, "Do you really believe that every single word we're saying right now isn't being watched by a dozen people?"
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and I'm sure everything that goes on at these things is. And so, a little bit more transparency probably wouldn't kill you guys. You're all gonna pretend
why
you
did you
didn't hear anything anyway, because that's how you nobles fucking work.
And why do you think I'm having this conversation with you out in the open when I could have said, "Hey, I need to talk to you," and drag you off somewhere else? I'm worried about you. And Monty does drop his voice down. Lynn's worried about you. I know you think that you've changed and somehow are a fundamentally worse person for it. But I don't think there's nothing in you worth saving. And Monty steps up into his personal space and pushes the potion into his hands.
He lets that happen, and he sort of, his gaze is kind of just linger on the potion. And he says, "Do you have siblings, Mr. Pensmouth?"
I don't know if I should answer that.
That's fair.
I'm sorry. That's the thing that I've been learning more and more in Hintella, is that I spent a long time mostly alone, and everybody here, even though they're absolutely surrounded with people all of the time, are more lonely than I ever was. And I just want to help. And you saved me. You could have let me fall. That could have been the end of me right there. That could have killed me, probably. But you jumped up and you hurt yourself more, and then I went and added, more strain to you that you didn't need. We're supposed to be, I don't know, lords, whatever you want to call us. We're supposed to be able to talk our way through these things. And honestly, if I had met you under different circumstances, I probably would have wound up as your friend.
He doesn't quite turn from you, but he definitely, kind of looks off, almost like he doesn't want to quite meet your eyes, and he says, I can see why she loves you.
He turns bright red at the tips of his ears.
Yes, he's a good boy.
Yeah, we raised him right.
You didn't raise me at all.
Shut up, Monty.
And she likes his fluffy hair.
It's a good look.
I tried to tame it. It's like
It's good. It suits you.
Reagan ruffles it.
Reinhardt, he says, I will be in Hintilla for some time now. At least through the election. It's, I'm the little arrow in the Archduke's quiver for now. I'm certain we'll cross paths again, Mr. Pensmith.
All right. Please take care of yourself.
He just sort of chuckles a bit and he says, I wish I knew how.
Well, I mean, start with the potion in the leg, man.
Yeah, it seems like solid starting point.
Monty offers his hand to shake Reinhardt's hand.
He takes it, and he shakes back.
It's a firm handshake, Reinhardt! It's a manly handshake! Does Reinhardt break all of Monty's bones?
No. Reinhardt's a dex fighter. He's a dex fighter. I think you're actually equally as strong as Reinhardt.
Arm wrestle!
No, that's
With
fine.
Monty wearing heeled boots, and
I am
Reinhardt
wearing...
quickly losing his leg.
Maybe they'll be the same height
Maybe they'll
soon.
almost be the same
No!
height.
That's not how losing a leg works.
Well, no, I mean, because he's leaning a bit.
Like standing up, falling
toppling.
over. Yeah.
He's just constantly about to fall. Like, whoa. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he shakes the hand.
I look forward to getting to know you better. Maybe not at this party, but in the future.
He looks like a little incredulous at that, but sort of nods.
I trust with this handshake that you will likely not stab me in the back for the rest of the evening, and I promise I won't do the same to you.
He says, Montague, I am not a Hintillan.
That's fair. I mean, I meant that as a joke.
Oh man, that's good. Can I use that?
He sort of shrugs.
I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Put that on a t-shirt, man. Well, like I said, take care of yourself. I'm gonna go back in. I've gotta go take care of some other stuff.
Yeah, go.
Schmooze and everything.
Sure.
Oh, is Griffin still nearby?
Not too far away.
Okay, Reagan just wants to subtly give him the finger guns. Like, we're cool now.
He's super into that, and he just
Hell
gets really excited. Reagan, as you're walking away, Reagan, you hear a voice, and you're familiar with the cantrip message. You're like Reagan is familiar with it, and so you know that you can reply to it. And it's Reinhardt's voice, and he just says, "You said you're not a good person. What do you think of me?"
Honestly, Reinhardt, I've seen worse. I don't think you're a bad guy. Just fucked up, same as the rest of us.
There's no response after that. You get the impression that he really wanted you to say that he was a terrible person.
Too bad. We're here at the Monty Brigade.
As y'all enter in, maybe like 3 like side doors down into like the servants' entrance, or one of the servants' entrances, Ethel emerges with Lord Limpter, and Ethel, you see like sort of standing there, not like 10 feet away, just talking, just chatting with this fairly like, elaborately dressed, what looks to be a merchant of some kind from a different land. You see Anastasia, and she just sort of turns back and smiles at you, Ethel, and she says, "I was wondering where he got off to. Thank you for keeping an eye on him for me."
Oh yes, if you don't mind, I shall continue to borrow his company. I'd like to introduce him to some people. Have a lovely evening, and she's just gonna bustle off.
We're all committed to snubbing Anastasia Monada.
Yes! Fuck you, Anastasia Monada!
Murdered at the Masquerade.
Everybody's just gonna get in a line and just like quip her to death.
Yup.
Just quip her all the way to death.
She's like, oh, I'm gonna play the game and be subtle and imply things.
And
we're
everyone
all
else is just
nope,
like, nope.
I refuse to acknowledge this.
Just walking away.
An entire group is just like, nah, fuck subtlety. Hey, I'm gonna have this conversation in the yard.
Nice thing about being an old lady is you're just kind of like, no.
Yeah. When you get to my age.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll die soon enough.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Might as well go out on a high note.
Fuck you, Anastasia.
Anyway.
But yeah, Ethel, you kind of bustle past, and you see out on one of the entrances to the veranda are entering in those dweebs.
The Looney Tunes, yeah.
The Looney Tunes and
The twerps.
and oh fuck, the twerps.
God, that's what we are.
And then
Clods!
then you see Rufus is sitting over at Lord Goring's table.
I shall bustle towards the twerps. Oh, Mr. Pensmith! Mr. Pensmith!
Oh God, as you said towards me, I thought you were gonna say towards Rufus.
Man, you're popular tonight, huh, man? And Reagan's not really paying attention to what's going on. She's looking at Lord Goring's table.
Sarah, remind me, Monty does know Ethel's name, right?
Yes, they have
met.
chatted a bit.
Lady Ethel, hi. What can I do for you?
Hello.
I'm sorry, by the way, I haven't had a chance to introduce your niece to Reagan yet. I got shot.
Wait,
Yes,
someone
I
wants to meet
saw
me?
that terrible duel. It was simply awful.
Why do you want your niece to meet me? I'm a terrible influence.
Oh, because you're cool.
Oh yes,
I guess that's...
I simply think you would get along quite well.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, I think you guys would be a pretty good match.
Fair enough.
Well, speaking of people who would get along quite well, may I introduce you all to Lord Alfred Limpter?
He kind of steps forward and he offers like a bow and waits for the response from y'all.
Reagan's not even paying attention.
Fuck.
She's looking at Rufus.
Monty bows
She's
again
gonna-
and offers his hand.
Regan does a little, like, head bob. She's not gonna bow to anybody.
Yeah, Monty bows to everybody.
Alfred
Reagan
looks
distractedly waves.
Yeah, whatever your name is.
Alfred looks a little confused because normally like one offers one's hand, like a lady offers their hand until a lady offers their hand to the gentleman, and then and he was just like, and so like Reagan just being like, oh hey, and then give it a head bob. He's just like,
What do I do?
okay, well, so then he turns to Monty and shakes his hand firmly, like places one hand on top of the of Monty's other one.
Yes!
Excellent.
And he
Montague
says,
Pensmith, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Alfred Limpter. Haven't heard those words in a while, to be honest.
Well, I think everybody deserves a fresh start. Actually, I realized, though, Monty is aware of the situation from last year, but he's keeping a very, very cool head, open mind. Limpter's not as bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We think.
Mysteria could have saved us all, but she rolled a 6, so...
Thank God for that 6. Now I get to make another friend! Ha ha!
More
I didn't realize I was suddenly about the power of friendship here, but that's where I am today.
Actual magical girl, Montague Pensmith.
I mean, I'm here. I'm gonna unify the country. It's gonna be great.
Yep. Anyway, Gil, what's up?
Sure.
Well, I believe Lord Limpter may not have had company for dinner, and I thought, since you all seem to have such an eclectic group, that you might be willing to have him sit with you.
She kind of looks at him and she's like, "You're not trying to date Lady Cynthia Goring, are you?"
Oh, I thought you said it to Ethel.
Asking Alfred that in character.
I thought you said that to Ethel.
Hey, Ethel.
Ethel, I will fucking kill you.
No, she's asking Alfred.
He says, I have not had the pleasure of making her acquaintance yet. That's not really something that I'm looking for right now.
Cool.
But
You
if
can sit
it
with us.
were, I think you should consider my beautiful niece Saria. Just to put a little bug in your ear.
Monty's giving Limpter, since they're kind of like approximately the closest after having shook hands. Monty's giving him the look of like, I know, I'm sorry, just deal with it. They'll be done in a second, and then we can move on with our conversation.
Anyway, Reagan just kind of nods, still kind of distracted, and she's like, "You can sit with us." And she walks away towards the Goring table.
He could have just nods his thank you. All right.
If you want, I mean, like, don't feel obligated, but
I'd rather that than sitting alone. To be honest.
Okay then. I don't really have any concrete plans, so I'll probably be there most, if not the whole time.
Very, very well.
Is Lady Cynthia at the table, by the way?
Yes, Lady Cynthia is currently back at the
Cool.
table.
Reagan cares even less about what's going on. Continue.
Yeah.
And there is also another young noblewoman with her.
Is it my beautiful niece?
It is your beautiful niece.
Yay! She made a friend.
She
Anyway,
did.
you guys wrap up your conversation. I just wanted to figure out exactly how distracted Reagan was.
Extremely.
Okay.
Well,
Certainly.
I was also hoping you might introduce Lord Limpter to the champion, since you seem to be quite close with him.
Quite close.
Reagan's not there anymore, so...
Yeah, Reagan's not paying attention anymore. I mean, most likely I can make that happen.
Wonderful.
I certainly won't mind it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pensmith. I knew I could rely on you.
I'm at your service, my lady.
Well, Lord Limpter, I shall let you spend some time getting to know these lovely people who are closer to your age than I am. And I'm going to go check on my family.
Your family's at our table.
No, just my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ethel kind of bustles off real quick.
I've inherited one Lord Limpter.
As you're going though, Ethel, Alfred says, Lady Amblem,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. And my apologies for the inconvenience earlier.
He cocks his head.
Yes, well. Have fun!
He nods and looks like a little like okay, yeah, fun's good. That's good. Yeah, okay. Ethel, where are you going right now, Ethel?
Probably am just going to head back, like, to the emblem table and just kind of be, hopefully, inconspicuous for a little bit.
Sure, I can take that. Reagan, did you walk over there, or
Oh yeah, no, Reagan has been walking back towards the table because she got bored of the conversation and saw her sister. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so then currently it's Brika, Monty, and Alfred, right?
Yes.
Okay. He just says, I think I should warn you. I don't know what the champion's reaction will be to seeing me.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. I mean, if Reagan's, like, within 30 feet, he probably won't make a scene.
Why?
You know, that's a good question. What are they doing? Are they dating? Are they... They're special to each other. Anyway, I'm not gonna let anything happen to you.
He he looks like just a little like confused about that. Like, why would anything happen to me at like here? And then like sort of like a realization like passes over his face and he goes, right, murder.
Yeah. Hey! Monty just making friends out with all the guys by just going, hey! At them.
Monty Megabro Pensmith.
Aw, yeah.
With Monty Big Bro Pensmith.
Monty, shorter than every other guy at the ball, Pensmith.
But he got them lifts.
Chester's a halfling.
So there you go.
I'm gonna walk past that one. Alrighty. Yeah. Oh, by the way, are we like assigned to be sitting at the same table as the Gorings, or do we have our own nonsense table?
We have our own table at some point.
You have your own table.
But I think
okay, we do have.
You start your own table. It's just that y'all haven't been back there in a while.
We've invaded the Goring table.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say hi to Lord Goring, but I also don't want to abandon poor Lord Limter here. So
Yeah, take him with you to the Gorings.
that'll be interesting.
Fun.
He's a nice
That's
young
gonna
boy.
be awkward. And well, I guess Rufus is over there. We got to go over there anyway.
Reagan's also over there, so
Yeah. Let's.
your best
Look,
friend.
since you seem to be kind of nervous about it, Lord Limter, why don't we knock out the introduction to Rufus, and then we'll mosey in a direction towards our actual table, because I'm friends ? With Lord Goring, but I don't want to impose on him this evening.
Okay. So just go knock it all out at once.
Just
okay?
go hang
Sure.
out with the Gorings.
Sure.
We got all those
Sure.
eggs in one basket.
Hell yeah.
Yep, there they are.
Sure. Look at all these eggs we have. Yum,
We
yum, yum.
maneuvered them with subtle tricks.
While I'm being paranoid and thinking about it, where's Osiris? Can I check?
Yeah.
Just glance.
Give me a perception check.
Hooah! That's a 12. That's not very good.
Man.
Who knows, man?
So at this point, like people are kind of at like a swell. This is sort of everybody's come back inside, in preparation, like for the proper dinner, and so things are pretty swelled in terms of people. So it's like you can't quite fit
Okay.
everybody, or like
Okay.
you're not able to tell exactly where she is right now.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all are walking over there. Let me see something real quick. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I think.
Andrew, what were you rolling? Did Reinhardt's leg fall off?
Because if it is, you have to tell me. Otherwise, you can go and count.
Hold on, let me roll for Reinhardt's leg. Okay, it's not falling off yet.
God damn it.
Yeah, I gave him a fucking potion, you guys. It's not gonna fall off anymore.
Yeah, but you didn't make him drink it.
Shit!
Anyway, so the Goring table.
So the Goring table.
So Reagan gets there first, and Reagan,
Hell yeah.
at the table, there is Julius. Claudia is off, sort of with like a gaggle of noblewomen, just sort of essentially holding court. Maybe like 15 feet like away from the table. The Cynthia and Saria are sitting there, just sort of like chatting, and you see what can only be described as the most awkward two dudes in Hintilla sitting like across. They're sitting next to each other, like they're not actually sitting next to each other because it's Lord Goring and it's Rufus, and in between them is Kahlo.
Oh my god, this
who
is
is-
a beautiful scene. Reagan wants to look at this every morning for the rest of her life.
He's currently maintaining his flute or his shawm. He's getting it ready.
Reagan's gonna just kind of like swoop in there and like put a hand on both Kahlo and Rufus's backs to let them know, I'm here to save you from yourselves. Everyone having fun over here?
There is like a palpable like sense of relief from Rufus, who's like, oh, hey, yep, fun. That's all we're doing. Fun. I do it all the time, you know. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Julius, how goes intrigue?
He kind of looks at you and he says, I didn't exactly come here for intrigue. I came here to be seen.
Well, yeah.
And
Anyway, did you
this
get
is
my
me
note?
being seen. Oh, about the... yes, I did. That part is a relief. That was very... I want to say brave, but it also seemed a little very risky.
Yeah, it was. Didn't really have a choice, but it's neutral now. So, I mean, on my personal level. Anyway, that's I'll give you guys the details later. It's not important right now. Lady Cynthia. Every time she says Lady Cynthia to Ellie, she says it with like a wink, just like a theatrical wonk.
Ellie's.
Wink wonk.
I think like the first couple times Ellie was like, "Oh, that's kind of cute," and now she's just like,
"Oh my god."
She's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
My sister is such a dummy. Like,
yeah,
what the hell?
She's so embarrassing. Oh my god.
Yeah, very, 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 very embarrassing. And she just kind of rolls her eyes a bit, and she says, "Lady Kayam, good to see you as always."
Of course. How's your night? Who's your friend?
Oh, well, this is Lady Saria Emblem. She's also debuting.
Oh.
And Saria kind of like gives like a half wave, even though like she was like chatting with Cynthia. There's still that kind of reservation to her.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Cynthia, you and me are best buddies. Our mom/sister is super embarrassing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And anyway, Reagan's gonna kind of like address both Julius and Ellie and just kind of like, we were thinking about sitting with you guys if you have room at your table, but if not, we have our own table because we were invited and stuff. But, whatever y'all want to do. I think Monty and Brika are back there somewhere. I don't know. I kind of just left them in the middle of a conversation. That's probably fine, right?
Around that point.
Yeah, thanks for that. Kind of slaps Reagan on the shoulder.
What? There was more interesting stuff going on over here.
Nice to see you again, Lady Cynthia.
She smiles and gives the very courtly like kind of sitting half bow. She's, "Mr. Pensmith, I heard you had quite the scrape earlier today. Are you all right?"
More or less, yeah. I think things are fine.
Thanks
I think
to his old
everything's
buddy,
quite alright,
Reagan.
actually. Reagan, shut up. Reagan,
so,
don't.
Sorry, says, "Really? Because it seems like you got shot by an arrow."
Oh no, I super got shot by an
My
arrow.
girl
Okay.
like barks laughing. I like this one.
Yeah, no, she's great.
I knew you would.
Yeah, no, Monty's like not even trying to like put on the courtly. Oh no, everything's quite all right. No,
No.
no, I super got
You're
shot.
among friends.
Yeah.
Someday I'll make a character who's just really easy to hate, and that's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be
over.
great. That's going to be the whole thing.
No, I went and we had a conversation, and I think things are okay right now. So, can you believe it? A conversation in Hintilla?
Right?
Rufus says, "So he's not going to try and
No, he won't.
No, most likely not. I think we're good.
All right, just keep an eye on that one. He's
Rufus, I know. I'm not gonna let him pull any bullshit. He's an asshole, but,
Okay.
I'm prepared to stab him if I need to.
Speaking of keeping an eye on people,
Thanks for looking out for me.
Brika is more distracted in her, showing up and greeting people. She's already said hi to Julia. She doesn't care. She'll wave at him.
Whatever, it's fine. They're best friends. They have a connection.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
she would like to look around the room to see if that dragonborn that Monty is so worried about is around.
Give
Thank
me
you.
a perception check.
That is a
22.
Hey! I think it's the first roll above a 15 that we've had tonight so far.
Yeah.
I've only rolled
You're
one time this
welcome.
entire time.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, Brika, you see Zosiris, who, Monty's told you her name.
Yeah.
She's over talking to the Lord Erwin von Teppler, just sort of, seemingly in a casual conversation. From here, it's hard to tell exactly, the nature of it, because they're kind of far away. There's always going to be a lot of daylight between the von Teppler and the Goring tables.
Yeah.
Speaking of, is there enough room at the Goring table for all of the nerds we've just brought over here?
I'm not going to intrude on Lord Goring's table if I'm...
Reagan's going to. She lives there.
There's... How many people do we have right now? We have the 3 Lord Gorings. There's Adwald, who's kind of off doing his own thing right now. That's 4 plus
Plus Rufus
You
and Colin.
three.
Plus us
Plus
three.
too many
9.
people for this team.
Plus Saria, if she stays there, you can probably fit 11 people around the table. Like,
Just
it's
like
a bit
pull
of a,
somebody else's chair over. Just like
yeah, just like
Odd.
Reagan just cold cocks somebody in the back of the head and
Yeah,
just like
and
fucking
takes their chair.
walks off.
Table is just like the most popular at the party.
It's the cool kids
it's where all the
table.
cool kids go.
We're here to have fun.
Don't you want to be a cool kid like me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At this point, I think slowly the rest of you kind of realize that like there's a very clear kind of tension that's been building right now.
Between Lord Limter and Lord Goring, I'm guessing.
Or Limter and Rufus.
Limter and Goring, first of all,
Okay.
you know, they are technically like
Rufus seems good.
Yeah,
equals
Monty's
among
gonna
nobles.
duck out of the conversation with the girls and kind of like, hey guys, we chill.
Julius kind of like he's keeping very composed, but you can tell this close Monty that he's just like, fuck, I gotta deal with this now. And,
Yeah, Monty, I think has the look on his face that your beloved puppy has when he brings you something like that you really don't really want in the house.
Look! I found a leaf.
Look what I found.
Alfred it looks he's just kind of nervous looking, and then Julius sort of sighs and he says, Montague, someday we're going to have a conversation about timing. He stands up and he walks over to Lord Limter, and he reaches out his hand to shake it, which sort of surprises Alfred. It definitely catches him off guard, but only for like a half a beat before his instincts kick in, and he takes the hand and shakes it back.
Friends. I don't even have to cast friends.
Reagan over here like, oh yeah, we picked up a straggler. I don't know who that is.
I don't know about
Literally
friends,
one of
but
the most
polite.
important people in the city.
Aggressively doesn't give a shit.
I know.
She actively tries to avoid learning their names.
Reagan is like, when there's not like constant trauma happening, it's like perpetual I don't give a shit. And so she
Yeah,
just,
it's like she literally couldn't care less.
it's the great balance of the universe.
Yeah. But Reagan doesn't give a shit and Kahlo is perfect. And that as long as we have that, everything's okay.
Yeah. Alfred says, how have you been? Have you been, Julius? And Julius kind of just gestures to his throat and he says, the same. He says,
First name basis, old friend. Anyway,
God, I fucking love these two.
Julius, is it cool if we sit with you?
he says, well, if you can find the space, I'll need to excuse myself in a moment. I need to take care of things quickly. And he kind of again like gestures to his throat.
Reagan just
You
kind
okay?
of nods and she's like, ah, and she looks at the table and like the arrangement of the people. And she's like, I'll make this work.
God. Drag our table over, Reagan. We'll push them together.
Just go, yeah.
Just it's
grabs
like
it and walks across the room. Just like, Rufus, hold on, help me with this. It's not heavy, it's just awkward. I mean, honestly, if it's close enough, Reagan will literally do that.
it's not super close.
Okay,
You have
then
to
she's just gonna start stealing chairs that people aren't sitting in.
all right.
She'll start with the ones that are unoccupied. And if,
Julius kind of just like shakes his head like these fucking dweebs.
yeah, this is what you got yourself into, Jules.
Mhm.
I mean, Julius. Jules is the little ghost boy. But we're on a first name basis because we're friends.
I'm sorry we're like this, Lord Goring.
I'm not.
By the way, the whole time they were shaking hands, Monty is beaming, and so, like, that's what Julius has to turn around
A
to.
happy
Is
boy.
Monty just like, yay!
He just looks at you like all right, Monty. I'm glad you're happy about this.
Reagan's gonna plop down between Rufus and Kahlo, her favorite boys, and also so she can be within, like, talking distance of Julius's chair. So she's just gonna plop down after
Sure.
pulling a bunch of chairs over, and that's what Reagan's up to right now.
Sure. Julius is gonna stand. And he's gonna excuse himself, go off for a bit of privacy.
Can we trust him to do that
Well, he needs to
without someone murdering him in a violent fashion?
keep an eye on him.
Murder, you say?
Who would ever murder anyone at a masquerade?
Yeah, who would do that?
Because I don't trust.
Who would use a knife at a masquerade?
That's ridiculous.
to
Who
kill
would ever
someone?
do that?
Who would ever do that? That's crazy.
That's like...
Brika's gonna make that eye contact like, you better not fucking die on the way, bitch.
He gives,
No one gets to kill you until I kill you, Julius.
he gives like a reciprocating look of just, don't worry, if anyone tries to kill me, I'll just run away really fast and escape super good.
Yeah, I love that they can communicate all of this with a glance because they're so close.
They're such best friends.
I like to think
Best
Brika's been visiting the Goring estate just to hang out, play Jenga, with the Jenga champion.
Jesus fuck.
Wait, does Reagan think wait, who's Jenga champion?
Jules the little ghost boy. We talked about this.
Well, I thought from what you were implying that, like, Reagan was the champion, and I was like, I feel like Reagan would hate Jenga, because
No, Reagan's not the champion of anything.
Reagan's idea of playing Jenga is to just punch the tower.
I win.
See, I knocked it over, that's what you gotta do. No, Reagan's not.
No, Reagan. Reagan, no.
But yeah, so, Reagan's gonna get comfy at Julius's table.
Okay, sure.
She's gonna move in, like she did to his home.
Okay, Brika, you doing anything right now? You got anything on your plate?
I mean, you could always tail Julius if you don't trust him to take care of himself.
You could always go assault my other mom.
That's the thing. I don't want to miss out on an opportunity to meet Monty's other mom.
I'm sure we'll have time.
Also, I'm afraid to leave Julius alone.
Is Brika afraid to leave Julius alone? Like, does she have reason to be?
I mean, as much as she's afraid to leave anyone alone,
Okay.
that's just
At
like,
these things?
like, damn it, why can't we all just
pick
stay
your
together?
You could vanish and follow him.
None of us are gonna stop you.
I don't want to overstep. I'll stay with my son.
Aww.
Alright, okay. Anything else we want to do before dinner starts?
Want to introduce my buddy, Lord Limpter, to
Rufus and
the
what's his face
champion.
had their moment.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. So Rufus is kind of like, so Monty, how are you doing this, Monty?
Just, by the way, Rufus, I wanted to introduce you. Rufus, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just thought that was a of like a greeting, of acknowledgement.
That was the sound that my father makes when he doesn't hear me the first time.
Monty, I didn't know you had a dad.
Shut up. Rufus, I just wanted to formally introduce you to our new friend. We've picked up, this is Lord Limpter.
Oh yeah.
Rufus kind of like thinks so for a minute. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure he died.
No. Different Lord Limpter.
No, like Junior
No,
or something, right?
Oh, okay. So your dad's the one who did the,
Rufus.
yeah.
Ixnay.
He's like, what? That's what happened, wasn't it? I was like, yes, I was there as well. He hired a necromancer. She shot me with lightning. It was bad.
Kahlo!
What?
Kahlo!
Yeah, but
Toss Kahlo a coin.
What kind of coin?
It's a silver.
You
Kahlo.
realize you're just rewarding bad behavior.
Kahlo, shut up! I love you, Kahlo, but please, not now.
Kahlo plucks out of the air, his eye gleaming along with it.
It's very shiny silver. It's fresh from the bank.
He's excited about it. Rufus just kind of shrugs and he's like, I mean, look, you do have a necromancer lady that he kind of pauses at that. You're not doing anything spooky, right? And Alfred's just, no, I don't think so. He's like, good, it's fine then. It's fine.
Cool.
It's fine.
Knew I could count on Rufus.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
That's exactly what I thought.
Good boy.
Monty kind of elbows Alfred like, hey, what did I tell you?
He just kind of looks at you like, is that what you think a win is? Is that a win?
Yeah.
Monty's been shot tonight. That's a victory today.
So, yeah. So, does anybody have anything else they want to do before the dinner, or is everybody good to wait until dinner is served?
Is Mom still over with Von Teppler?
Yeah. Mom's with Von Teppler.
If Julius isn't back when dinner is served, I'm going after him.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair. So after maybe like another 15 minutes, Julius comes back just before people start like en masse, almost as if some sub-audible signal went out, and they all just begin like moving towards their tables. Rufus kind of stands and he's like, I think I gotta go back to my table. I think it's a thing. that I'm supposed to do.
I'll go with you then.
All right, yeah. Kala's already like there, just like kind of like standing like right like because I picture Kala is like the top of his head is like Rufus's shoulder, and he's just kind of like there, just always. And he's just like, I guess you're coming too. He's like, yes, I will come. Great. All right.
Great. It's like we literally came over this table because of Reagan, and now Reagan's leaving us.
Well, look, Rufus is leaving, so... Bye, chumps.
Alfred's just like, I think I can't really sit here.
That's fine.
During dinner.
Yeah, let's, Julius, I'm sorry. We're gonna head back over to my place. My table. My table.
My pad.
My pad.
My crib.
My sick bachelor pad of paranoia and too many bookcases.
Would Alfred have to go sit at his table and you guys have to sit there? Is that how this works? Does everyone have to be at their table?
So it's you could technically sit anywhere, but it's about what message that sends, right? What statement that sends. Like
Okay.
Lord Limter sitting at Lord Goring's table is...
Yeah, no, I know.
Fair enough.
Monty is acutely aware.
Okay, so where's everyone going to sit?
I mean, I guess we're going back up, like, Monty's... Are we part of the champion crowd, or are we part of our own crowd? Cause
You did come with the champion.
Okay, we're part of the champion table. Okay. Well, let's go sit with the fucking champion then. Let's go fuck up Reagan's date. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, Kala's already here. It's been ruined the whole night. Like, but she's actually having a pretty good time now. She's good.
And it's all thanks to Kalo.
Everything's all thanks to Kala, really. If we think about it.
Before we head back to our appropriate table, Brika is going to give a thumbs up to Julius.
Congratulations on not dying.
She doesn't return with an affirmative hand gesture, but he definitely smiles at that and just kind of like shakes his head a bit, just like in that like, all right, it's like, yeah, I know, I'm alive, it's fine.
I'm alive, we're best friends. I'm making a macaroni picture of us.
It's not just a good job on being alive thumbs up. It's like a, hey, we're getting through the night thumbs up.
Yeah. It was definitely, yeah. And
obviously,
I think
Julius knew that because they have such a deep connection.
Yeah, obviously.
A bond of friendship stronger than any force in the universe.
a strong bond.
Other than Hollow.
Is Claudia back at her table?
Yeah, Claudia. So like as y'all are leaving, Claudia like is returning to the table. She she sort of like nods at Monty, and she sees Eureka, and she's just like her like pupils dilate a little bit, and then she just kind of gives like the half wave, like a.
Oh hey, I noticed you.
Brika waves back.
She's just like there's like she hides it well. But it's very clearly like a, yeah, fuck yeah.
Does Julius give Brika any kind of signals on what the hell just happened?
Julius is just wincing about his neck right now.
That's
Aww.
fair.
Yeah,
He's just doing him.
But at least he has the warmth of Brika's friendship in his heart. I would die for that friendship.
Anyway, back to our table.
There are so many things that y'all would die for.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
sure.
it's really just Diana.
Yeah, I would die
That's
for a lot of
true.
things. I'm very
Yeah.
Kayams are very dramatic by nature.
In
They
real
are.
life,
Yes.
real life, whenever Diana walks past a dog, she's like, I would die for that dog.
Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
That's just good.
yeah, I know.
They're good dogs.
I know.
Dogs are good.
they're good dogs, Julia.
I know.
Don't
What
you
do you
get
want me to
that?
say? Anyway,
Oh my god.
back to the champions. So is Alfred coming to?
Alfred like looks a little like conflicted about like where exactly he wants to go when a now familiar figure just kind of seamlessly drifts into the group,
Yikes.
locks her arm in his, and Anastasia just says, Alfred, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. I see you've been making some friends. And he says,
Monty bows.
she gives you like a slight inclination of the head. Yeah, no, it was I've just been meeting some of these. I've just been meeting some people. And she's like, that's wonderful. Would you be a gentleman and escort me to my table? I fear I'm feeling a bit faint. He says, yes, of course. And as they begin to walk away, Monty, you hear, or she lowers her voice and pitches her words so that you can hear it, but not Alfred. And she says, we'll need to have a talk later. Just a forewarning. And then they walk away.